Good morning. Welcome to Energy Works. Today we're talking about happy days are still to come because sometimes we can feel like, no, there's no more happy days. Life is terrible, and we may feel that we can't, enjoy our life, or there's nothing good to look forward to. So I wanted to clear some energy around that because it's like, yes, there will be tough times, and yes, there are difficulties, but you know what? There will still be good days. Sorry, moving the heater. Anyway, so let's go into our brow chakra. So that's sort of like trusting our intuition, trusting what we feel, trusting that, those feelings and thoughts that we have are important. The insights that we have and what we feel to do. All right, spending a lot of time trying to decipher life's meaning. All right, and deep restorative sleep comes easily. All right, it's safe for me to see the truth no matter what it is. Sometimes I think the way that we see life can be a little restricted or not complete. So it's like opening our mind to bigger possibilities. So let's go into the crown chakra. All right, I'm connected to my earth family and my heavenly family. Good morning, Jenny. Okay, where in your body is telling you stuff is stuck? All right, I like this one. I am fun and spiritual. All right, age 8. something else. Going back to the brow chakra again. My body is learning to function in balance. Yeah. So sometimes we're a bit out of whack. We might not be aligned right, or maybe our biochemistry isn't working at 100%, or maybe we just don't feel that we're, going on all four cylinders. Sometimes we just feel a bit out of order. All right, stuck in our mind. All right, the value of generosity. So sometimes we can be more generous to other people than ourselves. Okay. All right, there is joy in giving. And I think often there is joy in giving. Sometimes we don't have a good balance between giving and receiving. So it's like we give too much. I have enough to give. So sometimes we can feel lack. And sometimes we're just a bit stingy to ourselves and to others. Okay. I like this one. I allow myself to enjoy the journey. And sometimes we're just enduring the journey, not enjoying the journey. So how can we make life a little bit more fun? What can help you feel that you are enjoying your journey? All right, so I'm worthy of fun. All right, let's go back into our throat chakra. I like this one. Love opens the door for me to feel whole and complete. Because often when things don't go exactly as we'd hope they would go. We can be down on ourselves and we can feel like we're not worthy of it, or we're not allowing ourselves to enjoy life, or that we're only here to fulfill duty, or to work instead of having some fun. And I can be guilty of that myself. So it's like we want to be able to feel that there is joy in life. I am becoming more creative each day. I like that. I acknowledge my unique set of superpowers. And of course, you do have your own superpowers. You're not like anyone else. So it's like it's important for you to understand your capacity and the difference you do make in this life. Okay, so now we're going into the value of honesty. All right. All right, as we seek to be honest, those around us will reflect honesty back. Just as we would look in the mirror, our state of consciousness, our vibration, or internal state of honesty will be mirrored back to us in our interaction with others and the world around us. My actions and words reflect who I really am inside. I value honesty. And sometimes people tell us the truth about things that we do not like to hear. And sometimes it takes great bravery and courage to confront those things that we know we need to change and we might be resistant to changing. All right, so now we're going to talk about the Celtic weave. So it's like our energy weaves all around the whole time. It's like that old ABC symbol, that was a light that kept going. So sometimes part of our energy is not reweaving. So in the foot, left foot, so feeling stuck in that foot. So low self-worth. So sometimes we are judging ourselves on our body, or we're judging ourselves on our family, or we're judging ourselves on our bank balance, or our friends, or what happens to us in life, or what doesn't happen. So it's like being able to see who we really are and see who we were before we came and who we're becoming. Okay, so now we're going to go into the earth chakra. So it's probably a little harder in winter, isn't it, to connect to the earth? Cinnamon oil. Cinnamon assists individuals in relationships where insecurities are shown by jealousy or control. So we might put with that some bergamot, which is about self-acceptance. Bergamot is wonderful for those who feel down and hopeless. It awakens the soul to hope and offers courage to share the inner self. Reigniting optimism and confidence in the self, it imparts true self-acceptance. Bergamot teaches individuals to let go of self-judgment by learning to love themselves unconditionally. All right, so you might use the bergamot and the cinnamon to feel good enough, to feel like you are worthy of your own love and your own care and um, your own fun and your own actually making more out of your life than maybe you are currently. I make a difference. And you do. Just by being you, you do make a difference. All right, age 9. All right, feeling queen-like. So sometimes we can get a little bit high and mighty and think that we're better than others, or we can feel wounded sometimes that people are not respecting us or giving us the love that we feel that we would like. All right, now we're going to jump into the 10th chakra, which is the solar star chakra. All right, box ticking and to-do lists. And sometimes that's really good to, write things down that you have to do and to get things out of your head and to, actually put things, into practice. All right, so the oil Immortelle or Soluble, I think we call it here. And it's about spiritual insight. It has lots of great ingredients: frankincense, sandalwood, lavender, myrrh, helichrysum, and rose. So it's got like a lot of the high-powered oils. So Immortelle is a wonderful aid for meditation as it quiets the mind, fosters inner stillness, and encourages spiritual growth. These oils are gentle yet powerful. They assist in the release of negativity, darkness, and limiting perceptions. This blend can mitigate spiritual blindness and other spiritual issues by offering profound light to individuals. Immortelle offers grace and comfort when one feels discouraged or distressed. This blend can assist individuals in transcending the darkness, pain, and stress of life. It offers support in raising levels of consciousness and preparing individuals for new heights of spiritual transformation. So it's a pretty high-powered oil, isn't it? Yeah. So let's see if we can get some affirmations around that. All right. While remaining gentle, I powerfully release negativity, darkness, and limiting perceptions. All right. So maybe having that time to actually think about what makes us feel connected to God, what makes us feel that we're receiving His instructions, what makes us feel that we are able to be connected. Okay. All right, we're going to go into a higher chakra again. So the 11th chakra, which is the galactic chakra. So Akashic Records, which refers to the database of every word, thought, or action that is stored energetically and encoded in a non-physical way. This chakra is said to store all our thoughts, experiences, and feelings, and is sometimes referred to as the book of life. It is said that every detail of our lives to be held there. So service is helpful. Now, sometimes we have trouble with the balance between service and abuse, but it's like while we're giving service, it does feel good. All right, so cardamom oil. There we go. So cardamom is about objectivity. Cardamom is especially beneficial for individuals with a long history of anger or aggression, which often becomes directed outward. It is helpful for those who hyperfocus on their problems, especially their frustrations. Cardamom assists individuals in breaking down or digesting these intense emotions of frustration and anger by redirecting energy to the solar plexus, the center of responsibility. In this way, cardamom helps individuals let go of emotional distortions which cause them to objectify other people and see them as inconveniences. I definitely can be accused of that. Cardamom demands that individuals stop blaming others. It asks them to take personal ownership and responsibility for their feelings. As they do, they will feel more at peace, calm, and in control of themselves. So we might use the cardamom to help have a bit better self-control. All right, age 6. $13. 23. 29. 35. 45. 50. 56. Jenny says that sounds like a lovely oil. It is lovely. I use it on my face sometimes. Okay. And you might need something like Salubel or Bergamot or some of these other ones to endure the cardamom. All right. All right. I ask for what I want. Do you? Sometimes I forget. Or maybe it's what I want for other people. Okay. Something else here? Nope. All right. So now we're going into the universal chakra. And this one is strengthened by solitude. So sometimes we just need quiet time, a time not talking to anyone or not, being involved with anyone necessarily, just having peace. All right, I am one with the universe. And maybe we just need to take time out to feel that. Something in the Celtic weave in someone's lower back. So I don't know if anyone's got a lower back that's sore at the moment. Feeling stuck in the lower back. Feeling taken for granted. Sometimes we can feel like we're piggybacking other people. Sometimes people can have emotional resistance too. It's like they don't want to be helped and I'm fine, thank you, don't come near me. And this can be generational. Dad's mum. The men on dad's mum's side of the family. All right, strengthened by, this is still talking about the universal chakra, strengthened by a unified field of oneness. I think it's become blatantly obvious in the last 5 years that fear was used against us to make us do things that we might not normally choose, and we had to choose sometimes between family and friends or situations. So it's like the opposite of, I guess, oneness, or, joining in together collectively, and, the high tide, all boats rise with the high tide. So we want to support each other in rising, and to support each other in feeling there will be better days, and that, the best of my life is not over. There's still good to come. All right, another oil. Oh, can't find it in there. So the oil is cumin. Let's see if I've got anything in Kim's book. Sounds like we're in for some curry. Yeah, here we go. So the oil of resilience. All right, I'm radiant and blossoming with good health. I sleep soundly and wake completely restored. I'm a pure light being housed in human form to learn more. I love that. My wounds, though deep, heal quickly as I let go of grudges and move towards unconditional love of others and self. Okay. All right, age 6 again. Stuck emotions from age 6. Feeling cranky. So what were we cranky about when we were age 6? Okay, something else stuck in our mind. Okay. All right, so sometimes we have a particular event that happens, and there can be a number of emotions stuck to that event. So, age 36, and feeling lack of control over events. So, where were you, and what were you doing when you were 36? And what couldn't you control? And that's how I'm forgiving myself for the times that I'm failed to be in control. And let's say I'm allowing myself to have a bright future. Time of conception. So our own feeling when we were conceived. So inability to understand our own emotions. And I'm sure we were very excited to come to Earth, and I'm sure we felt that we could do good when we were here and that we were excited about the possibility of fulfilling our mission in life. But I think also too, sometimes some of us chose very difficult paths, and it can be hard to feel like there can be a good outcome when we've chosen such a difficult path. I have faith in my ability to be happy. And this one goes back to age 2. So I don't know what happened when you were 2. Do you know? For some people, it can be a sibling's born, or a sibling goes to school, or there can be other um, life circumstance that happened. Jenny says yes. Okay. So I assume that's about being taken for granted. All right, so let's go into our sacral chakra. My internal dialogue uses the words of loving kindness. How do we speak to ourselves? I easily adapt to the new. I am free from repeating the mistakes of the past. Now, this is about relationships. So sometimes we make the comment, I married my father. And sometimes this would imply that we're still learning from that similar sort of situation, which is not a bad thing. So often we see this as a failure on our part in choosing the wrong person, but it can turn out to be exactly the right person and situation necessary for us to grow the spiritual muscles needed for future challenges. So when we work through these difficult situations, it can lead to a strengthening of relationships and deeper foundations of love and trust. I no longer blame others. My family share with me love, honor, respect, values, space, gratitude, understanding, tolerance, forgiveness, and acceptance to me, and I accept this gift. My ability to press forward helps empower my family. So, generational baggage from dad. Other family members' failures are acknowledged without condemnation and criticism. Our family embraces joy. All right, male friends from the past when we were age 6. So, where were we and what were we doing? And we can also be dedicating this to our family members. So, maybe what were they doing when they were 6? All right, so feeling desperate. And sometimes when we're little kids, we desperately want to fit in. We desperately want to belong. We desperately want to feel part of. And sometimes we may be rejected for no reason in particular. Right, let's go into our solar plexus chakra. I'm worthy of love, kindness, and respect regardless of what I have done. All right, so sometimes we can perceive things that happen in our family or with our children as our mistake, or we can punish ourselves that it's, not going any better. All right, what I have to say is interesting to others. I'm in the perfect place in my life. My life is one success after another. My actions are in alignment with my desires. So again, the same affirmation comes up. My life is one success after another. So why might we not feel successful? So generational baggage here. dad's side of the family and the men. 44 generations of men, so that goes back a long way. I'm worthy of acknowledging my successes, and it's okay for my life to be successful. Good morning, Susanna. It's a little delay this morning. Okay, a little bit in the crown chakra now. All right, I'm full of positive thinking patterns. I easily see a higher purpose for every experience. All right, anywhere else in your body that's complaining? I am resolving and releasing all my problems. I have the ability to shift thinking patterns. All right, so we're going to go into the human consciousness scale. So current vibration, 330. So that's not terrible. Could be better, could be worse. These people around you that are perpetual optimists, this is their level of consciousness. Seeing life as one big possibility is the cornerstone of those operating here. No longer are you satisfied with complacency. You strive to do your best at whatever task you've undertaken. You begin to develop self-discipline and willpower and learn the importance of sticking to a task till the end. And I guess that's how we learn, isn't it? Through the difficulties that present, and also through believing that the better days are to come and that we're going to still have great enjoyment in our life. All right. All right, so now we've jumped up to 430. So this is the level of reason, the level of science, medicine, and the desire for knowledge. Your thirst for knowledge becomes insatiable. You don't waste time in activities that do not provide educational value. You begin to categorize all of life into its experiences into proofs, postulates, and theories. The failure of this level is you cannot seem to separate the subjective from the objective, and because of that, you tend to miss the point. You fail to see the forest because you have tunnel vision on the trees. Paradoxically, reason can become a stumbling block for further progression of consciousness. All right, so sometimes we get a bit stuck in our thinking, don't we? All right, some emotion stuck here. Hanging on to old concepts. So sometimes we see the world as we did when we were a child, that we may not feel safe, or we may not feel that people are there to support us, or we may not feel that, that we can be successful in our endeavors. All right, back to the crown chakra. I'm worthy of divine love and protection. My worth is great. I clearly see my own divine nature. It's safe to be happy. Okay. All right. Anyone else got anything that they would like to share? If not, we'll close our event. Our next get together is on the 8th of August. So look forward to having you there. We'll be at the clinic at 6 p.m. All right. Thank you for those who are on the call and who commented. Hope you have a great day. It's finished? Yeah.